Hello, hello, welcome. My name is CK, also known as Commendable K. This is a Faith Network production. Make sure you subscribe, click the notification bell, share to your social media, including your YouTube community tab, and beyond. So Faith is going to be joining us in a moment. I'm going to hold it down till she gets in. So I personally have done content about the whole Kanye West situation. And I'll say there's a lot of decisions that I don't agree with. You've heard them if you've been to my channel. And there's some decisions that I'm like, it's risky, but we don't know what it's like on the inside as far as the music industry to know exactly how bad it is, how deep it is. But it must be very deep, very bad for Ye to go anti-Semitic in order to express himself. So again, welcome, subscribe, thumb up the video, share everywhere, and please support through Cash App and also channel membership and YouTube Super Chat. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, and I know a lot of you all may not have been following everything, but Ye has done a lot of stuff that's very questionable, and it's just like, I don't know. He's made interviews and whatnot, and a part of the smear campaign, unfortunately, is Vlad TV. So Vlad has posted that Ye has reportedly admired Hitler and the Nazi Party, wanted to name album after them. Me personally, I don't really believe this. I don't believe that Ye, with all the stuff that he's said in interviews, that he actually would be anti-Jewish. I mean, he's made anti-Semitic comments. Then he says that black people are Jews, Jewish people are Jewish people. He's kind of done the double talk, the double speak.
Don't make me laugh.
And it doesn't really make sense, but I don't really see him being anti-Jewish like a lot of people have laid him out to be or made him out to be. But this is what Vlad TV and a lot of people who are still in allegiance to the rulers are saying about Ye. Now, we have some stuff from Ye personally that we're going to show you. And this is pretty much how Ye feels at this moment.
Right, twice, okay? So we go 1, 2.
Yeah, get it.
That's it.
Get it.
That's it.
Oh, yeah.
Move.
Oh, yeah.
That's move your hip. Come on.
Yay, get it.
That's
get
it.
Yay.
With your arms
Get it.
now. That's it.
Oh,
Stretch
man.
both your arms and your legs, okay?
Yes, yay.
You fuck.
Okay.
That's it. Okay, now the third one
Yeah,
we're gonna
Ye's
do.
dancing. Ye doesn't
We're
care
gonna
about
move,
what's going on.
But we're gonna start in that
He's
position.
been doubling down.
And then we're gonna
tripling
move the
down.
hip both to the left and to the right, okay? We start that way. That's it.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
And then we move to the left 2 times
Wow.
and to the right twice, okay? So we go 1.
So yeah, Ye is he's dancing in the streets right now. And things are starting to fall apart around him. And from, I was talking to the Faith Factor. She has a difference of opinion from myself. She can lay out her talking points when she comes in. But me, I just see a bunch of businesses and buildings crumbling around him. And some of you might be like, well, this is all a part of the plan. Yes. So Spiritual Israel, hello, welcome. She says, I knew it. The man is smart. So if what the Faith Factor or what Faith is laying out is the entire plan, then yeah, the man is a genius. The man's a genius. And spoiler alert, the idea was for him to, on purpose, this is Faith's hypothesis. This is her theory. Faith's theory is that he was doing all this to force the people who have his contracts, like Adidas and whatnot, who are ran by what he calls, quote unquote, Jewish people, executives who are in power. He was doing all this to force them to cut the ties or to cut the chains that enslaved him to the plantation. So we're going to do the what if. We're going to do a what if section. Yes, what if time. What if? What if? So if the contracts that he has gotten and has currently are so bad that he can't breathe, he can't do what he wants to do creatively, and he's said that. He has actually said that in different videos and different postings, and that the only way he can gain freedom and be able to give what he wants directly to the public is by cutting those slave chains. I guess this is the only way to do it. Myself, I think that it would have been smarter and wiser to use the money from the rulers to fund businesses that he wanted to have where he could sell directly to the public. However, if they were putting him in a chokehold and this was the only way to get out of the plantation, then more power to him. And there's two ways to look at it. There's probable and possible. So I do believe that it is possible to do this DEFCON 3 thing that he's been doing and saying that people who are in power, as far as the music industry, they're Jewish, they're screwing people over. And this is the only way to make them pay. I mean, I think it's possible, but not probable, just because when it comes to business, people really don't give you opportunity and do business with you because you're the best or you have necessarily the best product or service. They do it because they like you. And a lot of people, they like Ye. They don't like what he's doing and they still want to rock with Ye, but they're not going to publicly come out and continue to support Ye, do business with Ye, or validate what he's saying because they still are bending the knee to the Jewish rulers.
Yay!
Yeah. So in a way, Ye is freeing himself from the plantation, but I don't think that other people who are currently on the plantation, I don't think they're really wanting to bite the hand that feeds them. They're not trying to leave. And just like in the words of Harriet Tubman, they could have been saved had they have known that they were slaves.
Bruh.
And a lot of people are like, I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable in what I got going on. I'm not trying to rock the boat. I know it's possible to be richer, but I'm happy with being rich in my bubble. And shout out to Anton Daniels because he said it that a lot of times these people, we'll call them the rulers, they're okay with you being rich as long as you're rich under them. So joining us, hey, what is going on, Faith? How are you? Welcome. Let me go ahead and...
Can you hear me okay?
Yep, you're loud and clear.
All right, great. Let me make sure that my mic setting is on the correct thing here because last time I was borging a little bit.
Yeah, it happens.
Okay, yeah, I'm on the correct settings. All right, it is I, the one, the only Faith Factor. And CK, how you gonna just sit up here and give my perspective without me being here? I'm just kidding.
Just an introduction, because you've gone in depth and really deep with it while we've been talking, and there's no way for me to give anything close to like what is like on your mind as far as the wealth of information you had as far as your theory. So without further ado, go ahead.
Okay, it's simple. see, we're too busy looking at the craziness of what's going on, and it does look very crazy, and it is crazy. I mean, who would do the things that Kanye is doing and say the things that Kanye is saying? However, if you look at the history of not just Kanye, but other people, other black men in the media that have had actual issues with the Jews, like just recently, wasn't it just Nick Cannon that just got out of the doghouse with the Jews,
Right.
and he had to, you know, eat crow. He had to walk some statements that he made back. And
Mm-hmm.
years ago, before Dave Chappelle got into it with the LGBTQ, he went on a long hiatus before then when he got into it with the Jews.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, at that, and even I believe Howard Stern, who is a Jew himself,
He is.
he is a Jew himself. He had some issues with his brethren. So, you know, all indicators point in the direction that Kanye, while he may be crazy, he might be crazy like a fox.
Mm. Okay.
And
Okay.
here's why I say this. Now we're sitting up here and we're looking at he's making these statements, and Kanye, you know good and daggone well from experience, this man does not know how to talk. He needs to have a publicist or somebody with him 24/7, because the man just does not know how to represent himself well when he gets a microphone put in front of him. Every time he gets a microphone in his face, he always puts his foot in his mouth because he's not a great communicator. But just because he's not a great communicator and he's missing a few screws doesn't mean that a clock can't be right at least 2 times a day.
True.
So now I'm looking at the situation with Kanye, and he's not the only person complaining about this particular group of people. But here's the thing, and I was riding the bandwagon, you know, up until a day ago. And then I started connecting the dots. Kanye has been saying, because see, here's the thing, when people are off their rocker, they usually are not very solid with their stands. They're usually not going to say the same thing over and over and over again. But he's been pretty solid with one thing. Do you have that clip of him that I sent you when he was speaking with one of the people interviewing him? I forget who it was he was speaking with. But he said this over and over again. He said that he has these contracts. And see, this is the thing that you have to pay attention to. Now, he may not know the names of the people, or he may not want to disclose the actual names of the people. But one thing that has been solid this entire time is he's talking about these contracts.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also consistently mentioning opening up a tech business that is going to help him produce what he needs to put his stuff out himself. He wants to go straight to the public. And he has been consistently saying this even before this stuff happened. So I want people to start paying attention to things that are the same in what Kanye is saying. And then go back in history and look at what he has said previously. And then that's when you're going to start connecting the dots. The man is a musical genius and he is a creative visionary, but he's crazy. But he is crazy. But putting together a few things about Kanye that we do know. We do know that he is surrounded by people that do control a lot of the things that he says because he cannot speak. He is a horrible communicator. He does not know how to represent himself well to the public as far as putting out his own thoughts and his own feelings. We already know this. However, we do know that he is a genius when it comes to being a creative visionary. Everything this man touches turns to gold. He has gold albums. He has lucrative billion-dollar businesses. So, he knows what he's doing as far as his creativity. But what happens to a creative visionary when he's stifled?
Oh, he can't be creative. He can't be the genius that he wants to be.
Exactly. And see, this has been Kanye's ongoing gripe. Now, there's a clause in his contract. I forget the name of it. Can you jar my memory?
Oh, no
We're,
compete
we're
clause.
Yeah, the no compete clause. And what that no compete clause is in all the contracts that he signed with these businesses is that he's not going to share any of the proprietary information, any information that he has given, any creative ideas that he has given to these particular companies. He's not going to take them and share them anywhere else. But if you listen to what Kanye has said in one of the companies that he's dealt with, and I believe it was Adidas, who immediately terminated his contract, by the way. They
Right.
immediately terminated his contract. The proprietary clause that he has on file with them is up real soon. I think it's sometime next year. So it's all bets off. So now, if I was Kanye and I can't be the creative visionary that I want to be, I'm stuck in contracts that I think suck. I want to get out of them. What can I do? What's the fastest way for me to get out of these terrible agreements? And I
Burn
know
bridges.
burn bridges, exactly. And see, none of us are business people. I have a few people in my family that are into business. I talked to my uncle. He's done contracts like this before, and he told me that this is what Kanye was doing. I didn't understand what he was talking about until he pointed out something that Kanye said to me about one of those contracts, about sharing the information getting ready to expire, and that's with Adidas. He successfully got Adidas to terminate his contract with them on their own. So now in a few months, the information contract side of it that he signed is also going to be over. So whatever information that he shared or had with them, he can take that and he can put that information into his own company. He can take that and he can build up his own businesses. Now, another thing that Kanye has been saying over and over again, he's been talking about building up in the tech field. We need more people in the tech field. And he's also been talking about starting from the ground up. Hold on a second. I got to put my phone on do not disturb, or else
Right.
I'm going to get all kinds of stuff.
He mentioned doing that with Lex Friedman, the Jewish YouTuber, how it needs to be more black people in tech, and that he wanted to give more opportunity to black people, but the Jewish rulers, if you will, they insisted that he didn't do that. He and other people have also said that they insist you don't spend money in black neighborhoods as far as trying to build it up. Don't do too much business with black people, only the ones they approve of. So that there has been clear evidence of chokeholds as far as the entertainment industry. Even Slim Thug, a rapper, he says that there's a lot of the lawyers, the accountants, your managers, they will encourage you to hurry up and sell your publishing, hurry up and sell, and they'll persuade you to do that. And you're thinking, like, why would I want to sell my publishing? That could be more money down the road, and they'll convince you that it's not a lot of money. And the reason why that they are doing that, even though it's against your best interest, is because they get paid once you do stuff like sell your publishing and basically sell your soul to the devil. So Slim Thug has said that in the music or entertainment industry, both Hollywood, music, everywhere, that you're basically surrounded by people who either don't know what they're doing, like if you bring in family members and friends and people you know, or the people who are local in the areas where the entertainment industries are located, they basically work for the giants, and they're going to give you bad advice, which will help the Jewish owners, but put you at a disadvantage. But were you good to go?
Yeah, I'm fine. I wanted to ask you, do you remember that link I sent to you the other day with that video showing Kanye being interviewed?
Yes, I can play it, but you won't be able to hear it on your end, but the audience will be able to hear it.
Okay, I need you to go ahead and play that for the audience, just so they can get an idea of what I'm talking about. And for the people listening, I want you to listen carefully to what Kanye is saying. See, a lot of us were so busy focused on this is crazy what he's doing, but listen to what the man is actually saying. And then come back and tell me if I'm right or wrong. Kanye is actually doing these things so that he can get out of these bad contracts. He's been wanting to go direct to the public with all of his business dealings for a long time. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and let CK play that beautiful being footage.
All right, playing now.
The media and entertainment industry try to make it so difficult for you to spread the message that God has called you for.
Like I said before, the media just wants to control everybody's voice, and exactly what I had claimed they were going to do has started to be done. You saw they took down the interviews, they try to soundbite everything up, and they try to not understand what our frustrations are and how many people have dealt with the same things. I remember I was first telling my dad I wanted to get into music, like professionally, back in, when I was 18, 19. He just talked about how treacherous the music industry is, and it doesn't have to be like that. It's time for us to clean up. And I'm in a position where, you saw me fight through with the contracts a couple years ago, fight through on the publishing, and just, fight through to get a position at the table. Because you could be the biggest star in the world and you really don't have a real position or really say so. You're just being used for your voice.
Lastly, what do you think it would take for you to be respected by the Jewish media control companies?
Get my Kinga t-shirts instead of nigga. We're gonna say Kinga.
Well, we have to put together our own companies. And if I hadn't taken it to this level, for me to say, hey, I want to we're going to make a 100% black, not just black owned, but black operated tech company or tech hardware company, people would have said that that was anti-Semitic. That's one of the techniques that are used to keep black people from coming together to build our companies together and keep us from working together. We get lured in by the idea of Hollywood, like the award shows or the, who made the certified platinum, who made that up, who made up the idea of a major label. And then we look towards that as things that make us feel good. Oh man, I'm sad I didn't win this Grammy. And these are still man-made constructs. We need to perform for an audience of one, and that's God. And that's the only way we're really gonna be free.
Thank you for your time.
All right, cool, thanks.
All right, so that is it. So I know, Faith, I know you weren't able to hear on your end, but you've already watched it though. So based off what he's saying, I agree that we do need to come together. We do need to be united. And if this is what it takes, then so be it. So I've seen situations where someone will walk into a situation and they'll portray themselves to be the fool so that the enemy lets their guard down, kind of like a Trojan horse. So everywhere Kanye's gone, he's had the beard unkept. He has the hoodie on with the tape, with the paint and stuff on it. And this could be a tactic to let the enemy believe that he's a fool, to let them believe that he's crazy and that he's dumb, so that while he's still making moves, getting to where he wants to be as far as planning, they're not thwarting his plans, getting in the way, and stopping him from going where he wants to go. Because they're making phone calls telling people don't do business with him, cut his deals, don't give him funding, don't support him. But if they knew exactly what direction he was going, then they'd be able to have an offensive attack in that area and stop him from whatever his ultimate plan is. So Faith is still there? So Faith may have stepped out.
Wait, can you hear me?
Oh, yep, loud and clear.
Okay, yeah, I'm still here. No, I was just looking up some history on anti-Semitism against the Jews. And, Kanye, like I said, isn't the only person. Even as far back as 1919, you had Henry Ford, who said that the Jews had a hook-nose approach to doing business.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So here's what I've got to say. Someone asked me down in the comment section if I thought Kanye West had lost his mind. Of course, I think that Kanye West has some mental issues. However, I don't think that he has completely lost his mind. No, I just think that because of his mental issues, he doesn't have a great way of going about communicating what his issues are. He does need to name names, and he doesn't. A lot of people that have mental issues, they have problems communicating how they're feeling. So in this case, it could be a bit of both. He has a mental issue which hinders his communication, and there could be a suppression issue, because look at Nick Cannon. Once again, Nick Cannon hasn't lost his mind, and he was pretty much, rocking in the same boat with Kanye. A couple of years ago?
Right.
He was rocking in that same boat, and he had to walk a lot of stuff back. So everybody can't be crazy. Dave Chappelle, like I said, this was about 15, 20 years ago with Dave Chappelle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Dave Chappelle lost his mind. Isn't Howard Stern a Jew himself?
He is. He is.
So Howard Stern lost his mind too? Just think about it for a second. Sometimes you guys are so busy looking at the messenger that you're not really paying attention to the actual message. And the message is also important.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when you connect the dots, the Jews have done some pretty unscrupulous things as far as contracts. Hell, they did a whole documentary on Netflix. Who had the worst record label contract? Wasn't it TLC?
I think it was a tie between TLC and Prince.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's not even forget Prince. Prince had an issue with them as well, to the point where he had to even stop using the name Prince because they owned it.
That may be the reason why Kanye is now Ye.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Because there's actually a meme oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
There's actually a meme floating around that Ye had to part ways with Kanye West because the contracts that he had was so bad that they owned his actual name, like Prince. So,
right.
like you were saying, Prince had to become the artist formerly known as Prince because they owned so much based off the contracts.
Right. So, people, we have to start digging deeper. Don't just accept what the media shovels out to you at face value. You got to dig deeper. And see, I hate to say it, but Jewish people, even when Howard Stern went against his own brethren, they didn't blackball him to the point where Howard Stern can't keep his money in bank accounts like what they're doing with Kanye. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So they may infight with each other, but they're not gonna hurt each other too bad.
Right. Just a little pat on tap on the wrist, but with black people, it's pretty much they do total war, where they take away all your money. And I'm pretty sure the rituals that we've heard of as far as rumors, that stuff is for real, and they probably threatened to put out different things that they forced you to do, or whatever they forced you to do, but they asked you to do and you complied, as far as with the casting couch and other things, maybe even secrets that you have. So Ye has already said that there's a lot of tactics that they do, and they've rolled it out to him. He looked at the abyss and he did blink.
Exactly. And just maybe, just maybe, just listen to me, guys. Maybe it's going to take somebody that's a little crazy to actually come out and stand up to these people, because you see what the people who are so called sane do. They're not crazy enough to be like, F you in these contracts. But Ye is. But Ye actually is.
Well, in my opinion, so the clip that you provided that I just played, in that clip, Kanye West sounded coherent. He was serious. He was professional. He wasn't in character, if you will. So I think when we see him go on places like Drink Champs, The Breakfast Club, that's the character Kanye West. But the real person, Ye, is who we saw in the clip there. Oh, and a shout out to Concrete Rose of The Breakdown. She gives a $4.99 super sticker. Yay.
All right. Hey, what's up, Concrete? But let me just tell you this. I hear what you're saying and everything, but Kanye has been diagnosed, guys.
Yeah,
what a lot of people don't know, he has been diagnosed with having bipolar disorder. Now, what does bipolar disorder mean? That means that you have ups and you have downs. 1 minute you're happy, 1 minute you're not happy. So we don't know which Kanye we're getting anyway, because we all know he's crazy. But at the same time, bipolar disorder does not say that everything that you're going through and everything that you're trying to communicate that's happening to you isn't happening to you. And that's what I'm trying to get you guys on the same page with. It doesn't mean that at all. It just means that he may not have the greatest way of communicating it, but he has been consistent in saying that he wants out of these contracts. He has been consistent in saying he wants to deal directly with the public, with his businesses. And so if you're a crazy, insane person like Kanye, and you really want to get out of these contracts and you don't want to wait the number of years that it's going to take to do that, what do you do if you're Kanye? If you're crazy ass Kanye, I can see crazy ass. Yes, I can see him doing this, and he will sit there and he's been pretty much trying to tell y'all, I'm a genius. I'm a creative visionary, and I have to concur with him. The man is he's this, like I'll put it like this. Him wanting to get out of the contracts is genius, because he doesn't want to be held down anymore. However, whether or not he succeeds, that's the question. Now, once he's out of these contracts and he no longer has the money from his business backings, he no longer has the brand labels from any of these business backings, it's going to be all Ye. Now, what Ye has done is he's pretty much made his name a bad brand to do business with major labels, and he did that on purpose so that he can get out of those contracts. But I wonder if it's going to hurt his brand overall when he tries to do these things by himself. Now, the only way that I can see this working is if he's already began to do the groundwork before he went on this campaign to get out of these contracts. As I'm telling you, that's exactly what he's doing. He's being the most obnoxious, the most annoying, and he's trying his best to get out of these contracts. Everything that he's doing points to he's trying to get the hell out of these contracts. As a matter of fact, he comes right out and says many, many times He don't like the contracts he's trying to get out of
Mm-hmm. 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 And it may be that he isn't concerned about the money anymore. A lot of us have never thought about that. That maybe he would rather, like you were saying last night, Faith, that he wants to maintain creative control, and it's not really about the money; it's more about the vision. Now, Faith, I don't know if you want to really talk about this, but did you say in your area that people were passing out flyers that were anti-Semitic?
Yes. Out here in Arizona, there was actually a news article, and I meant to clip it and give it to you, but there were quite a few white people out here in Phoenix, okay, that had issues with Jews. So it's not just a black thing. It's not just a Kanye thing. Like I said, Howard Stern, who is a Jew himself, had problems and issues with the way his brethren do business. So
Mm-hmm.
it's an ongoing thing. The Jews own everything. They have their hand in every type of business organization, from where you put your money, as far as banking to record deal contracts to lawyers. The Jews are all over everything. They have taken over every financial aspect and legal aspect of financial business industry. So you're going
Yes.
to be completely tied up with doing business with these people, and they have the power.
So yeah, it's no longer a conspiracy. Maybe it's actual fact. Not a conspiracy theory, but a actual fact, and that's the reason why Kanye has gone nuclear. I think that in time, because of how we are as people, but we will move on to the next flavor of the month or flavor of the week, and in time, people will forget that Ye has even done all this anti-Semitic stuff. And the reason why I say that is because when on my channel, when I played the clip of Ye saying that slavery was a choice, a lot of black people were like, "Oh, I forgot he said that. I forgot about that." And things that Ye has said against black people that has been deplorable, we as black people forgive him. So I think that because a lot of us aren't really, we're not really caring as far as the Jewish community, because most of us are only concerned about the black community as far as the thought process and where we live. I know black people are going to probably support him. And then, like you said, there's a lot of people who are anti-Semitic who are like, I want to say what he said, but I'm too afraid to. But I will buy his products. I will buy his services. I will support him because he's doing what I wish I could do. And then
Exactly.
I think the Jewish community, because they are very profit driven, when they see that he is still profitable and bankable, I believe, and this is probably, I don't know, I could be right, I could be wrong about this, but I still believe that even the Jewish community in time will still do business with him because he is good for business.
Here's what I think is happening behind the scenes and what we can't actually see. Once Kanye West comes out of all of these contracts, and like I said, he's already successfully gotten out with Adidas, and that what was the name of the agreement again? That
The no
no
compete clause.
the no compete clause is up in 2023. So now
Mm-hmm.
whatever he put on the shelf with Adidas, Kanye can take that and use it for himself. So Adidas pretty much lost in that situation because they're not going to be able to produce another Ye label. As a matter of fact, all of these companies that they pull out with him, the very last thing that they sell of Ye, that's it for them. There's
Mm-hmm.
going to be no more. So everything that this creative visionary Ye has done, he can take that plus all of his other ideas that he's just been sitting on. He's probably shared these ideas with these business executives. And you know how a lot of these things go. You have to go through a lot of red tape in order to push through ideas to an organization, because you have to go through their marketing team, you have to go through their board of directors, you have to get all different types of stamps of approval in order for a
Mm-hmm.
particular idea to go to the manufacturing phase. And so what Kanye has been communicating is, I am a creative visionary. I shared my ideas. He even said that he bought in a particular designer that he wanted to work with, and they would not allow him to work with the designer that he wanted to work with. So
Yeah.
somebody like Kanye that's being kind of stifled and hands kind of, handcuffed behind his back as far as his creativity. Kanye, if he doesn't have his creativity, he doesn't have anything else. So this is why he's hankering to get up out of these contracts so he can continue to do what he loves. It's beyond the money at this point for him, I think.
And now I think that one thing I want to mention, I kind of talked to you about, that he told the Jewish YouTuber, I forgot his name. Last name is Friedman. But he told him that we as black people, we're Jews and you are Jewish. And he's saying that he wanted to go DEFCON 3 on Jews. So when Ye is saying Jews, he's really referring to black people, because most of the time, the majority of the time that he's been in the music industry, he's been under Jay-Z and Rock Nation. So the people that he might be upset with is not necessarily the Jewish executives. Because here's a picture right here. I know you won't be able to see it, Faith, but here's a picture of, let's see, is this it? There's a picture of with Russell Simmons. And he's with Jewish executives, and there's the word slave written across him in the picture. So in my opinion, these are some of the Jewish executives that we're thinking of. But I think the people who Ye is really upset with when he says the word Jews is people like Russell Simmons, Jay-Z. Because if you notice, Ye even said it himself, he has like 60 or 80 employees. And out of the 60 or 80 employees, he only has 2 black ones. He even said it himself that his preference is people who look like Kim Kardashian. And when it comes to just the people who he's collaborated with, they didn't look like you or I. So,
but in that interview that he did the other day, and sorry to cut you off, but I was listening to what Kanye was saying, and like I said, you have to listen to what the man is saying. He did mention that that Jews are also black, but he was saying that in context to the conversation that he had with the gentleman when he was saying that the Holocaust is now, which is crazy.
Yeah, but he was talking about black women and abortions.
Yeah, but he was talking about black women and abortions. But in that particular context, that's also when he brought up the fact that black people are also Jews.
Yeah. So the honest truth.
So he's saying that Kanye was basically saying that black people are the original Jews. Oh, so, you said the honest truth. I can't see the chat. The chat.
Oh, no, I was going to read it for you. So the honest truth, he's in the chat. He gave the name of the YouTuber, Lex Friedman. And I do remember Ye saying that black people are Jews. That's why Ye is saying that he can't be anti-Semitic, because black people are Jews, and people who are like of German descent, they are like German Jewish. And it just seems like every time Ye, there was this thing that he did with the Breakfast Club where he says, I'm going to say something anti-Semitic, and he says, I'm going to F your chick, I'm going to kill this N-word. And it just seems like there's been a lot of times where when Ye is talking about Jews in a negative way, he says that black people are Jews. And I think, I know you all are like, hey, you know what, Kanye West, he's a genius. He's going to get out of these contracts and he's going to do a lot of amazing things. I think he's going to do a lot of amazing things for people who look like Kim Kardashian, not black people, because he hasn't apologized for saying slavery was a choice. He wore the White Lives Matter shirt with Candace Owens. and he was just doubling down and tripling down, saying that Black Lives Matter is a scam, and
But
that
hold
George
on.
Floyd.
Let me
Okay,
cut you off real quick. So has Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is not married to a black woman,
right.
but he also had the same complaint as Kanye. So let's not act as if who these people decide to give the DICK to, or whoever, whatever to, doesn't make their gripe less valid. Dave Chappelle's gripe was valid. I think Nick Cannon, even though someone said he's trying to justify his own actions, I still think he had valid gripes. And so does Kanye. It doesn't matter who they're sleeping with and who they pedestalize.
Right. So I don't agree with that. It's just, I think that when Kanye West says the word Jew and not Jewish people, he's referring to black people, like he's been saying.
Right.
And,
He's basically saying that the original Jews are black. I agree.
well, he was saying the current Jews are black. He said that in different interviews, that the current Jews, like he says that right now, he is a Jew.
Right. Basically, he's saying the original. He's basically saying that we are Jews, that we are the lost people of Israel. That's what his ministry has been teaching.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look
So
at Kanye's ministry, and like I said, it's kind of zany, it's kind of wacky, a lot of his beliefs. I don't really get too deep off into his beliefs, but that's what he's
Right.
saying when he's saying that.
So like the anti-Semitism tweet that he put out. Let's see, I can look for that. Because the tweet itself, it was saying going DEFCON 3. I want to actually read it how it is. I don't want to. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, he said, "I'm gonna go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people." So yeah, and then he says, "Funny thing is, I actually can't be anti-Semitic because black people are actually Jew also." And then when he
Right.
gets in front of,
But he's just trying to justify his anti-Semitic comments by saying that he's also a Jew. But this has nothing to do. His belief system has absolutely nothing to do with what the white Jews are doing to him. See, he's still talking about the white Jews in the contracts, because even if you go back and you look at one of the record producers, I think the Breakfast Club, what's his name? Charlemagne the God
right,
was interviewing him. And this guy sat up here and said that, yes, he does profit off of a lot of these terrible and lyrics that that the black rappers are putting out there. He said, but his children have to eat too. And this is a white Jewish record producer label.
right,
So this
right,
is what Kanye is referring to. Because see, I don't want to confuse people as to what Kanye's religious belief is and who he's actually referring to. Kanye is talking about white Jews, but he is justifying his anti-Semitic remarks by saying that we're all Jews. You see what I'm saying now?
right. I see what you're saying. It's just that with Ye, he's been so confusing in the interviews that he's given. He's been like all over the place. He hasn't really given any direct information. He hasn't named any names of who the Jewish executives are who claim he screwed him over. It's just that when you think of like who he's been working with, he was signed to Def Jam, which was and it was Rockefeller Records that he was actually signed to, and it was under Def Jam. So one level was Jay-Z, the other one was Russell Simmons. And I know like we know that Ye is referring to white Jewish people, but I'm like, him just saying that, we are Jews, black people are Jews too, and I'm just seeing how he's moving. I'm wondering, is he really upset with the white Jewish people that he's not naming, and that?
But think about the black Jews that he's in power with, because there was another rapper And goodness, I get all these people's names mixed up. I get a brain fart because I don't listen to rap, guys. I'm just Faith don't listen to no rap. Okay, I
Uh-oh.
don't.
Uh-oh.
I don't like hip hop. Okay, I don't like
Uh-oh.
rap. But there's
him.
actually a video of him breaking down the exact same thing that Kanye was saying. This is the reason why I said Kanye is not the first nor the last black celebrity to have an issue with white Jews. And he was saying that with these white Jewish record labels, the way that they trick you into signing the contract is that they'll say, hey, you know what, come over to our place. Oh, we can hook you up with a collaboration with Snoop. And you're thinking to yourself as a new artist, oh man, I look up to Snoop. I look up to Dre. So Snoop and Dre, they might have a little power, but who has the most power? Who is the people that is sitting there with the lawyers, Jewish lawyers, and the contracts from Jewish record labels, but white Jews? Now, Snoop and all these people that you're talking about, CK, that are black, they don't have power. They're powerless. Kanye is talking about the people that have direct power over his contracts. Now, if you really, really think about it, the black people that you're mentioning, they ain't got power like that. What power do these people have over a Kanye contract?
Yeah, what you're referencing, that's the Slim Thug thing that you
Slim
also sent
Thug.
me. Right, and
Slim Thug.
Right, and Slim Thug, his gripe was that black people, they got screwed over, and instead of giving you a heads up, they will act just like the white Jews who screwed them over. And like like you said, oh, you want me to play it?
Yeah, I
Oh,
want you to play it.
Sure, I got it right here. Let's see. Because this is actually a really good point, and I agree with you, Faith, that he's more upset with the white Jewish people, and that's who he wanted to cut ties with. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna play it right now, and then we'll come back.
Like Kanye, he already a billionaire. He was already considered the richest black person in America, right? This is put all of that on the line for what he trying to do. When Pac died, I started kind of listening to Jay-Z, right? One of my favorite albums, if not my favorite, you know what I'm saying? Kanye West was the producer behind Blueprint. So to me, as a Jay-Z fan, I'm like, yeah, shut the fuck up. Keep making his beats, keep making blueprints. Nigga, like, let Jay-Z do this and shut the fuck up. So, yeah. Yeah, so I was like, shut the fuck up, make beats. Shut the fuck up, make beats. This motherfucker came out and basically damn near passed up Jay-Z with a lot of awards and sales and shit. I don't really the numbers or nothing like that. But he, right? Exactly. So think about that.
Beyonce keep J name, huh?
Beyonce do keep J name, but he make the beats too.
He said y'all call Jay a genius, but he say I'm 100%. I made the beats and rapped on the song.
You make the beats and you rap on the song, and
it probably came with the idea.
You gotta come with the idea. Like, that's a lot, kid. Like, that's a lot. You gotta salute people who can do that, be that creative. I didn't believe in Kanye at first. Like, I didn't think he was gonna be better than Jay-Z or no shit. He shut me up. I had to shut the up. I seen what he did after I was saying shut the up also. So I shut the up. Then he went to the fashion shit. He got doing the fashion shit. And you know what's crazy though? Like, feelings take you out of the game on a lot of shit, man. Like, feelings. Like, and when I had a deal, man, the whole shit was weird. It was like being on, what's that show? What the fuck that is? Get Out. It was like being on Get Out. Cause I'm in the office and Jimmy Iovine with this hype ass shit. Hey, you want to go watch a movie at my house? Dr. Dre is there, and Dr. Dre the key nigga to lock other
Okay,
niggas
that's
in
not
to
exactly
make it
the
look
one
cool. You
that
like, damn, I look up to Dr. Dre,
I
man. Let me
sent,
fuck with this
but you
nigga because
know,
Dr. Dre
it,
gonna
it
be
it's
with us, and
it'll
that's real. But
do.
really, that
But
ain't
on
what's
the
Oh, I
up.
one
found the
that
one
I
you
You know what I'm
sent.
saying?
It's
Like,
playing now.
that ain't
oh,
cool
okay,
for
okay,
Dr.
cool,
Dre to
cool.
do that. You know what I'm saying? He should stay out of that shit. And niggas who know that this deal shit going on should be letting niggas know, like, hey man, look, that ain't really a great deal. You know what I'm saying? You need to try to do this shit yourself and build your momentum up and have some type of ownership so in the long run you can eat. But they got all kind of tricks and trades they do. Come over to my house, watch a movie with me. You want to talk to Snoop? I put you on the record with Snoop. I got all these motherfuckers signing me. I could put you on a song with them just to trick you into signing with these people, man.
What we do in life echoes in eternity.
Just speaking the truth. I'm speaking the truth. So maybe if y'all won't listen to me or Kanye West or Candace Owens, maybe you'll listen to Slim Thug.
Our vote. That ain't right because y'all ain't did fuzz. Y'all motherfuckers start ignoring us when y'all win these offices and getting these offices and shit, right? Black Lives Matter ain't did fuzz,
Okay,
man.
I think
Them
that
people over us for real, and that's up. Everybody gave them all that money and they ain't do shit for us. And he's saying ain't change in the black community. It's still up. I like Kanye West's free mind thinking. I like how he think and as a free-minded person, you know what I'm saying? I don't like to judge Kanye West. I believe that even right now, he has an agenda he's trying to cover that we know nothing about. Like the niggas he's naming, I don't know them niggas. Like I don't understand what he talking about. You know what I'm saying? But I'm sure he do. And certain shit he doing is showing me that he do know what he talking about. After I got cause I had to, I'm like, man, I fuck with Ye. I got Yeezys on right now. What the fuck? I ain't got them on now, but yeah. I'm like, he can't be just crashing out saying white lives matter. So I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? So I did a little research. I looked at the Instagram and I seen a little video of how he posted how Black Lives Matter stole, you know, they got $80 million and ain't did shit for no.
Yeah, so now he's talking about Black Lives Matter. So I paused it.
okay. All right, but this is the clip that I was referring to. And like I said, when he went down the list of black people that the white Jewish record producers would throw up in their faces, like Jay-Z and Snoop and, you know, all these different people that you can work with, just signed this contract. And see, a lot of times what he was saying is these very same people that they're working with, like Jay-Z and Snoop and all of them, he was saying that perhaps maybe when, you know, they're parlaying together and they're talking, that perhaps they should tell them, hey, son, don't sign that contract. This ain't a good deal. But they're not doing that. And see, it's because they are slaves to the label too. So they don't have power. It's a whole hierarchy. You know, it's a lot to unpack with this. So what he is saying is that Ye or Kanye or whatever he's calling himself now, Ye actually does have a method to the madness. And it looks like a lot of madness right now, but I think that he is trying to get free. The name of the game is he's trying to get free. Now, once he's free, whether or not he can be successful, like I said, it depends. Like I heard him say that he was working on something with opening up something in the tech field where he could be able to, you know, open distribution to a lot of different things that he's doing on his own without having to rely on others to distribute for him. Now, if he already has that in the workings, and he already has financial backings, possibly from international, you know, off-seas accounts or people that are in other countries, if he's already got that going on, then I can kind of see him being successful without these people because he's cutting out the middleman and he's going to actually get more of the profit, even if less people buy from him. He just needs enough to sort of maintain what he currently is getting. So if he's able to pull that off, that's genius. That's genius.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. What do you think, CK?
Well, yeah, I agree that he was definitely referring to the white Jewish executives. it's just that in his interviews, he kind of like goes back and forth between by saying like, you know, he's for black people. Then he turns around and throws us under the bus by saying that the Holocaust is black women going to Planned Parenthood. But yeah, I agree with you as far as the top people would be the white Jewish executives. And I think that when it comes to being independent and you're under like a life contract, like BMT is saying in the comment section, that you do have to start from scratch and you may have to burn bridges, especially if that bridge takes you somewhere that's toxic and dysfunctional and you're just so disgusted by how they've done you contract wise and how they tried to destroy you for just giving your opinion on something. You do have to somewhat do scorched earth, like you've said, Faith. Burn the cape, burn the bridge, burn the boats, and be prepared to build everything from scratch. I think it would take Kanye maybe a few years, maybe even a decade plus, to get exactly what he wants and what he needs to sell directly to the consumer. And like you were saying, cut out the middleman. In my opinion, I think it would have been smarter. I'm on the outside looking in. I think it would have been smarter to use the funds that he was getting from those different contracts that he already had to build what he wanted ultimately. However, maybe he has already done that, and this is the point in time where he's like, okay, I'm ready to cut the cord and start on being independent. We don't know. I guess we won't know till more information comes out. I wish him all the best.
But CK, don't forget the other side to this, because once again, we're just doing what is. We're not saying that this is exactly what it is, but this is just my theory. I really truly believe that this is what it is, though, because this is what he said. He's been consistent in saying this over and over again. Now, the other side of this is that Kanye suffered quite a few losses in his life. The first major loss that kind of sent him further into his deprived with his mental illness was when his mother passed. And I think that you know, he was barely able to cope after that event happened in his life. Barely. He was barely holding it together. But there was another woman that entered Kanye's life that I think that he really did truly love. And now he has suffered another loss.
Who's gonna name the woman?
Yeah, that is Kim Kardashian, you know, his former wife, Kim Kardashian. I think he truly loved her. And seeing her, you know, out there, you know, dating, because you got to remember, a man that will sit there during a divorce and buy a house, what was it, across the street from his ex's house?
Across the street or right next door.
It was something like that. That's really unorthodox.
Yeah, it is. It is. To me, that's crazy. It means he's not over her, and she's the only one he's ever had children with, 4 mixed race children, and they all have like a direction in their name, like West, Northwest, and all that. I think it did send him over the deep end when hearing about that one guy, Pete Davidson, you know, blowing that back out. I think that did mess with his mind because he was thinking, oh, I'm gonna get her back. She's just talking crazy. And then he can he not get her back, but she's dating the guys that I believe that she really wants to be with, who look nothing like Ye or the other black men that she's been with. And that's the reason why when it comes to this whole, you know, dating out, expanding your options, I get it. But people need to understand that people might be dating you and entertaining you because they're using you for something. Everybody in her family, they've used black men to get into positions of power. And now with Pete Davidson, she didn't do Pete Davidson wrong. She did him right. Was even bragging about his Johnson, talking about they had relations in front of a fireplace. I mean, she never did that with Ye, as far as bragging on their sex life and different things. So, and then just seeing her happy with Pete Davidson further put Ye over the edge, and it just seems like the guy is still hung up on her because every woman that he's dated since Kim has looked like Kim. But before Kim, he was with Amber Rose and other women that he would openly say when he's done messing with him, he's got to take 2 showers.
Exactly. Oh,
Oh,
shout out to Sister George. I see Sister George down there in the chat.
hey, what's going on, Sister George?
But I want to point something else out too. Kim Kardashian is pretty much at the apex of her career. I really believe that she is looking to go in a new direction. Now, you said something that was really interesting, that she's now dating men that don't look anything like Kanye or anything like the men that she's dated previously. Like you said, her and her family have used black men to come up. So I think now Kim is done coming up off the backs of black men. So her introductory back into white society is going to look like a white Pookie at first. Now,
Right.
I don't want anyone to be fooled for 1 second. This relationship that she has with the current white Pookie is not meant to last. This is just meant to show that she is transitioning back to her brothers and sisters.
Right. And it's already ended, so you're spot on with that.
So now I predict that the next man is going to be somebody of the Caucasian persuasion, and is going to get a much better and better and better class of white men. So she's going to introduce herself in first with white Pookie until a better class of white man looks at her and says, okay, she's clearly done with these Negroes. That's
Better
what
class.
Exactly. That's what Kim Kardashian is trying to do. So we'll see if she's successful. We'll see.
And Kanye has nobody to blame but himself. I mean, he has openly said negative things about black women, and he's been feeling like, slavery was just a choice and all that nonsense. And then he goes over there to the other side, and the other side uses him, chews him up, and spits him out. So, it is what it is. But I do now that you've talked it out, I'm convinced that you're right, Faith, that Ye did all this to get out of his contracts, and that he has things up his sleeve he's going to work on. I think because we as people, especially Americans, because we have a somewhat of a microwave mentality where we want everything fast and we forget everything fast, people are going to move on from all this anti-Semitism stuff. People are going to partner with him, work with him, buy his products, buy his $300 shoes, and keep it moving. I mean, people buy Jordans and they're like $300 or $400, and Michael Jordan has openly not been positive as far as issues that were affecting black people, like when the Black Lives Matter stuff first started, or with the Rodney King beating. Michael Jordan was like, all I do is play basketball, I'm not concerned with that. So we as black people and Americans, we've heard people say negative things about people, including black people, and we've forgiven them or forgotten and still supported them. I think this is going to be no different. And shout out to you, Faith.
Well, thank you, CK. And shout out to CK. And don't forget to subscribe to CK's channel, Reaction Satisfaction, where he does the hottest reaction videos on celebrity news and gossip. And also, do you still have the asset attitude?
Oh, I do. Yeah, Faith, you're too kind. You're too kind.
Yes, subscribe to Asset Attitude so that you can get financial tips on stocks and different things that's going on in the financial arena. So you definitely want to tune in for that. Well,
I appreciate it.
I think that I pretty much said what I've had to say on this whole situation. I do believe that it's either one of the two things. And like I said, the third scenario, and I don't wish this on anyone, but what if Kanye is having a mental breakdown? And what if he's trying to self-destruct and he's gearing up for something even worse, which is self-deletion? Because usually when people start doing things to sabotage themselves like this, they're they're setting themselves up for something much, much worse. So he's got all this public attention, all this public scrutiny on him, and he's self-destructing all of his businesses and his business connections. So either he has something that he's planning to, that's better than what he currently has, or he's suffering because, he's suffered the loss, of another woman in his life that he loved, or he's setting himself up for the ultimate self-destruction. But either way it goes, it's definitely an interesting case study.
I agree. So before you go, Faith, I'm gonna go through the chat. So Spiritual Israel was the first one. She says she knew it. She says the man is smart. That's shout out to you, Faith. Sexy Red TV was here with the emoji. Demetrius Shikata says
Shikata.
Shikata. He asks, do you think Ye lost his mind? You've answered that a couple of times. He also says, well, yeah, that's actually entirely feasible. The intelligent fool theory is a real thing. Also says Nick Cannon is just trying to justify his actions. We've already said thank you to C. Rose for the super sticker. She says you're dropping facts, and we can't dismiss everything because of a diagnosis. Amanika Mama Max is in the house. She says he knows what he's doing. The Honest Truth says I know a bunch of our celebrities go along with the get along people, which is what is truly concerning. Ye is the richest black man in America, and his colleagues are split 50-50. Also, see, The Honest Truth has some more things to say. BMT is in the house, says that's not fair. That's not far-fetched. He said he's been to the Middle East as far as black people being Jews or the original Jews. Honest Truth said, what did Friedman say when Ye called him Jewish, not Jew? Yeah, and that's what I was kind of alluding to. Because Lex Friedman, who's a white guy, who's a white Jew or a Jewish person, it seems like Ye, like you said, Faith was trying to justify his actions as far as being anti-Semitic. I understand where you're coming from, Faith, and I agree with you that Kanye was referring to the Jewish executives. I think Kanye has a little disdain for black people, and that's why he has no problem putting on the White Lives Matter shirt and also saying that slavery was a choice and other things anti-black, and putting on the MAGA hat to troll black people. I'm just saying. The Honest Truth says that, talking about me takes an entire new twist and turn. If Ye isn't putting blacks into position, and he has not, he said he's also seemingly working with only whites or majority white, maybe two black people, maybe they're mixed race, who knows, would make him pretty big hypocrite. Yeah, because Ye was going on and on about taking up for black children, black babies at Planned Parenthood. And my thing is, you're taking up for black babies at Planned Parenthood, but you're not making any black babies. So he,
Exactly.
so Ye was kind of like attacking black women with that over and over again, talking about, in New York.
But let
Oh,
me
go
let
ahead.
me introduce this thought too. And
Okay.
it could be by design, because even Dave Chappelle was saying that the people that he hired the most, they were not black people, and that was because the people that were referred to him the most were not being referred to him by other black people, but it was by people who were non-black. So if you're the higher up you go, the referrals that you're going to get may not be for your people.
Okay.
So
Okay.
try to keep that in mind as well.
Okay. Faith brings up a good point. Coach D. Durrell's in the house saying that Drake is Jewish, and that's why Drake has been successful. BMT says 50 Cent and others released that he's not crazy, that it's a lot to cover, and I agree with that. I do agree that Ye has bipolar. He said it himself that he's been diagnosed. I believe him. I don't think it's a self-diagnosing situation that we've experienced in the space, but I do believe that there's a thin line between genius and crazy, and I think Ye flirts with both sides of the thin line. And the first clip that I played that Faith found, Ye sounded very coherent. He sounded smart, intelligent. He seemed like he was confident. And I think that what he's done on these podcasts has been a character. And a lot of people come online and they play characters. They're not their real selves. And I think Ye is doing that to kind of like a Trojan horse, if you will, so that the Jewish executives who are making phone calls to have him canceled, that they don't know exactly what he's doing, so they can't stop him in his tracks. Then also Sister George was here, and that's pretty much the last of everybody who's been in the chat.
Exactly. And as BMT said, he has this lifetime contract. What better way to get out of a lifetime contract than to sully your brand and make it so that it's just unpalatable to do business with you? And if he is successful in doing this, he would have done something that Prince couldn't do. Prince spent his whole life and died trying to get out of his record deal. So if he's successful, he's a goddamn genius.
Exactly. So the honest truth, he asks me, and of course, Faith, you can take a stab at it at first if you want to. How did Lex Friedman, that's the Jewish YouTuber that Kanye did the interview with, how did he respond to Kanye calling him Jewish and not a true Jew? I don't know if you want to go first with that, Faith. If not, I'll just...
Well, no, you covered it on your stream, so I think you should go ahead and answer it.
And that's kind of what I was referring to when I was saying that Kanye looks at black people as being Jew or Jews, and that white people are Jewish. And, Kanye West was all over the place, and he was intellectually dishonest, to be honest with you, because Lex Friedman responded with, well, the Holocaust is referring to German people who were Jewish and what happened to them. And that's when Kanye deflected to the Holocaust is going on right now, and it's happening with black babies at Planned Parenthood taking a shot at black women. So Kanye never really acknowledged that the Jewish people, when we say Jewish people, we're referring to white Jewish people who are German in descent. Kanye never acknowledged that. And I agree with Faith when she says that Ye was saying that he's a Jew to justify him being anti-Semitic. It may have been a way to, in the future, establish or reestablish a relationship with the Jewish community and do business with him, especially when he's independent, doing well, and out of the contracts that's been keeping him bound to the plantation.
Exactly. And I just wanted to answer the question, because when I looked at that interview and when Kanye West told him to his face that he was Jewish and not Jew, the man didn't really have a response to Kanye saying that, by the way. I want you to go back and take a look at that interview, because he didn't really respond to Kanye when he said that. I don't know if he was not responding to Kanye because he thought Kanye was crazy, or if he didn't respond to Kanye because Kanye actually had a point.
In my opinion, people like Ye. They like him a lot. And when Ye says things that are kind of off the cuff and a little offensive, people kind of treat him with kid gloves when responding. And Ye will usually take over the conversation at that point and change the subject. And like Honest Truth is saying in the comment section that Ye is a terrible 3-hour interviewer or interviewee. Yeah, he is, because the podcast that Ye has done that had been like 2, 3, 4 hours, they could have been like 20 minutes or less, but because people like Ye, and they still like him, they're just cutting ties with him to teach him a lesson or hoping that it'll get him back on the leash. They let Ye ramble. They let him be all over the place and be nonsensical. And when people like you, they'll let you bully them. When people like you, they'll let you make a fool out of them. And they'll even let you make more money than them, because they genuinely have you in the heart. And when it comes to doing business and selling, people don't buy from you, support you, or partner with you because you have a good product or you're smart or you're skilled. They do it because they like you. Just like with YouTube, it's easy to sell videos when people like you. You can say whatever you want to say. I don't want to throw any names out there, but there's people who flip-flop every day. Every day they have a new stance, a new position. They're on some new stuff, and the audience eats it up because they like the person. But let you be someone like Faith who tells the truth and is trying to be objective and be balanced. If there's people who don't like you, they're not going to rock with you. and they're not going to have a reason. They're going to go to your looks and your background and your family. They're going to go all over the place because they don't like you.
Exactly. I agree, CK. Shout out to Cassandra Brown. Hey, Cassandra. How you doing out there? But let's see. Do you have anything else? 'Cause I don't have anything. I'm trying to think of everything. 'Cause I wanted to cover everything. CK and I have long, drawn out, deep conversations about these things. When we're offline, I mean, it's almost like having a broadcast in and of itself with our telephone conversation. We should just record our telephone conversations.
Yeah. Well, one thing before closing out, and that's a great idea because I always enjoy talking to you, Faith, and being with you.
Well, same
Ye
here.
made a song. Oh, too kind. So Ye, he made a song called "New Slaves," and in the song "New Slaves," he talks about how entertainers, they sell their soul for basically diamond chains, fur coats, Bentleys, and trinkets. And when they sell their soul and get into bad contracts like a 360 deal that people are getting in right now, like Nicki Minaj got into. Nicki Minaj got into a 360 deal, and she was a slave, where the studio or the record label was making basically hand over fist of everything that she was producing or making. And she had to sneak across seas and do a concert just to make some money and pay her bills. And now it's allegedly she's broke. And it's because of these bad contracts. And I think in the song New Slaves, Ye talked about it. And I think at that point when he made songs like that, people should have known that it was only a matter of time before he was going to find a way to jump ship and swim towards land. So right now he's jumped in the water and he's swimming towards land. And I think he's going to make it, with all things considered. I don't think he's going to necessarily fail because people like him. And, when the dust settles and people move on to the next flavor of the week, flavor of the month, because people like him, they're going to continue to support him, even give him a couch to sleep on if need be, give him money, give him secret deals to keep him afloat. And he's definitely going to bounce back because he has that likability. Yeah, honest truth, Nicki Minaj, she was in a 360 deal. A lot of people in a 360 deal. Remy Ma, when her and Nicki Minaj were beefing, Remy Ma pointed that out, and that's when that story had broke. And there's a lot of bad contracts out there that people are signing because they're uneducated or undereducated. They're poor, they're desperate, and they think, oh, I got my big break. I made it. And then the contract gets put in front of them, and they're told, you have 10 minutes to sign this. You can't leave the room with the contract. You can't call anybody. Sign it. If you don't sign it within 10 minutes, you lose the deal. And the person who's there, who's an artist, who's been working hard, toiling away, they're like, I finally got a contract in front of me. They're going to give me $1 million. Let me go ahead and just sign it. Not run it by any lawyers like they don't want me to because I want to feel like I've made it. And then they get that person a Bentley, fur coat, some chains. And they think that they're good, but then in actuality, the $1 million is like a loan, like Slim Thug was saying. The $1 million is like a loan till your actual $1 million comes in. They loan you the money, you go through it, you spend it because you're in a 360 deal, and everything that you use, the private jet, the hotel, the limos, TMZ showing up when you need them to show up, you're paying for that out of that $1 million. And so you're spending money that you borrowed. And then when your checks do come in, you're so far in debt with interest and whatnot that you basically are in the negative or you're in the red. So I agree that there needs to be a change as far as the industry and how people do business. And hopefully, when the change does come, it'll trickle to other industries or other people who are business people and owners, that we can start doing things and be more on the ownership side versus on the employee side, with our hands out, hoping that the people who are doing business with us are taking care of us when they're really screwing us over.
Right. Well, I just wanted to start wrapping this up because that's it pretty much. I just want everybody I want everybody to think about this. real quickly. As far as Kanye and his interviewing skills and how he communicates, Kanye definitely has a diagnosed mental disability. He is bipolar. He definitely has an issue. We all know this with communication. That's the
Right.
reason why he had a PR, people helping him with that. And he fired them, I believe. He got rid of them because he said he wanted to speak for himself now.
Well, hold up. I do correction. They got rid of him.
Oh yeah, they got rid of him. But either
Yeah.
way it goes, now he's speaking for himself. And now that Kanye is speaking for himself and he doesn't have people putting together his words for him so that it makes sense. As you say, the Kanye whisperers are gone. So now you have to become the Kanye whisperer yourself. Now, just because someone has bipolar disorder does not mean that everything that they experience in life is not happening to them. You have to look for inconsistencies and you have to look for consistencies. The inconsistencies that I see is his inability to name names. Okay, I find that to be problematic. But the
Yeah.
consistencies that I see is that he is consistently saying he wants out of these contracts. Consistently. He is consistently saying that we need to start up tech companies of our own. Consistently. He is consistently saying that one particular contract where he had a agreement is getting ready to expire next year. So you have to really, really pay attention to the things that he is saying and the things that he is consistently saying over and over again. I find that those things are the truth. Now, the rest of his ramblings, that's the bipolarism. That's the crazy man. This is the Faith Factor along with CK, and we are the Kanye Whisperers.
Peace.
Peace.